G'day there viewers, Lee here. So you've seen a couple little snippets of the old Silverado. So a lot of people are actually interested in this machine. Look, it's American, it's a truck, Silverado, Chevy, big power, people love it, right? Anyway, whatever. So there's some interesting parts of this job. Now I'm going to show you what we're actually fitting and why we're fitting it. So what I'll do is I'll turn the camera around and I'll sort of zoom in on the parts and have a bit of an explanation and a bit of a job scope on this truck. I say car, but it's not, it's a truck. All right, so just let me turn around. Okay, so the main reason that this truck is here is because it developed an oil leak. Now, after a clean and a bit of a test run, we found that there was an oil weep. Now, this here, guys, let me zoom out a bit too close. There we go, that's better. This is what we call, or they call, the lower engine sump assembly, okay? So it's a one piece, nice aluminium, okay? It's got the level sensor there, it's got the oil pickup, and then obviously on the top side, let's just turn it around, that's the seal to the pump, all right? Now, the oil was leaking just on this corner. Now, I'm not going to show you on the engine now because it is a bit of a bugger to sort of zoom in on. So I'm not going to worry about it. All you'll see is just oil everywhere. So my good friends, I've got two suppliers in America. They've sent me this. And also what we're going to do is we're going to change the lower engine oil sump, which is made by Banks. This is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful piece of gear. Look, they're not cheap, and obviously with the Aussie dollar, it's not cheap again. All right, so, but I tell you what, I like this stuff. It's just really good, and the main reason there's a performance sump, two reasons. It's got these really deep fins to dissipate the oil temperature quickly. And the other thing is, when we pull the other sump off, I'll do a bit of a video on it, but when you drain the engine oil from the original fitted factory sump plug, it actually leaves about just over 1.5 litres of oil in the sump because of the way and where the actual plug is. It's quite sort of recessed, and it leaves quite a lot of oil. So look, I mean, these engines only hold about, I think it's about 9 litres, just a bit under. And my issue is, if you have an engine that's got 1.5 litres of original crappy black oil in there, that's not great. It's really not great. Okay, if you service your engine regularly, well, you know what? That oil's never going to be bad. Okay, it's usable, but it's not the point, is it? If you drain your engine oil, you get rid of all of it. Simple as that. So look, some of these things these engineers do, I question it. There's plenty of you guys out there, guys and girls, that question it too with what you see every day. Now, Allison transmission, Allison 1000 series, great transmission. Done a lot of work on those over the years. Now, this is the upgrade. All right, holds another 2 quarts, or 2 litres, shall I say. And so did this. I've got to mention another just over 2 litres of engine oil. Okay, so that's good for cooling and capacity. And you can see here the same thing. The other trans sump from factory also retains a little bit of oil in the bottom as well. But you can see with this, the sump plug is right down the bottom. Okay, right in the valley, low spot. So not 1 millimetre, okay, maybe a millimetre, but not more than, 100 mils of oil, and that's really sort of overestimating that, will ever stay in that sump of the original fill. Okay, so now the next thing is to change the upper engine oil sump assembly. You have to remove the transmission. And the only reason that we need to move that bloody transmission out is because of this bolt right here. You see that? So basically, the bolt comes in from the plate, or the rear engine plate. So we have to take the trans out, take the flywheel off, and then we can get to this one bolt that goes to there. All right, so I was speechless. All right, look, it's not the first time I've sort of seen this sort of stuff. 36 years coming now, and in all sorts of things. Anyway, good work for us guys. A little bit more labour and costs for the owners, but I tell you what, it's definitely an interesting project. So, and obviously to get the trans out, we need to take the starter motor out to get to the torque converter bolts. Now, to get to the starter motor, to get it out, I'm just got to go around here. We've found that we need to remove the exhaust pipe, and to remove the exhaust pipe, I'll get under there in a second, we need to remove the transfer case and the rear torque bar housing box. So this is a torsion bar, suspension torsion bar. I'll get under there in a second, but I just thought I'd show you in here. So up in this corner here, this tight little corner, in there is the starter motor. You cannot get it out this way. You cannot get it out closer to the front of the engine, right? The previous model you could, but this has got AdBlue. It's got massive exhaust mufflers, and I'm not sure if it was quicker for us to take everything from the bottom out, or if we should have just taken the cabin off the truck chassis, which is very common, as most of you truck guys would know, to remove engines. Basically, you take the cab off the chassis now. You do not pull engines out of there. You can see how far back that is recessed under the firewall. So basically, the normal procedure is to take the whole truck body off of the chassis, okay? So with regards to the exhaust system, it kind of looks like they put the exhaust system in there, and then they thought, well, you know, it's going to be easier to take the body off to get to that exhaust because it ain't coming out from the bottom, all right? So up in this big section here is a huge muffler assembly, all right? We've taken the transfer box off. But yeah, it's quite a lengthy job. There is the muffler. It's a big baby, and it sits right up inside next to the trans. So yeah, so look, it's an easy job, but it's just time. Okay, so if you guys ever have a 2017 onwards 2500 with the Duramax motor, then you need to change a starter motor. You will find it much easier and quicker. Remove the transfer case, remove the exhaust section from the dump pipe, and slightly raise the engine a little bit, and that will open up the hole a bit more for you to get that starter motor out. All right, so when someone says you're going to have about, well, let's say, let's make it 8 hours. All right, 8 hours at most of the bigger shops now, what, $200 an hour labour rate? That's what I'm hearing. I need to raise my price, that's for sure, but I can't. I couldn't do it. So that's $800 plus a starter motor. That's an expensive starter motor, it really is. So anyway, here's what it is. And look, those starter motors are good quality, so you should really only have to do it once the time you have that truck, unless you continuously go under, you know, salt water, you know, just really harsh conditions. But look, general engineering, it's really good. Unfortunately, manufacturers have to adhere to the emission standards now. So your AdBlues, the EGRs, they've got to put a lot more components in there to, you know, do the right thing by the government, all right, and the emissions people. So they just do it the best they can, all right. So we just have to deal with it and get around it the best way that we can. So anyway, I'll keep you updated with this job. I've got a young fella helping me. He's really, really enjoying it. So teaching him a lot. And hopefully we get this job done in a very quick time for the customer to have it back. But I will not compromise quality. Most people know that. I take, mostly I do jobs quickly, as most people know. But this one here, a bit more cantankerous. If I need to take a bit more time in doing it, so I will, and make sure that the job is done properly. All right, so, all right guys, that's a bit of the update with the old girl. People have been waiting for it just to see what I'm actually doing. And we've got to do the right-hand rear wheel seal on the diff. So I'll do an extra little one there. It's a bigger diff, new style, disc brake rear. So yeah, when I open that up, I'll show you the seal. The seal's actually very good. It's expensive. Get that from America as well, but quite a unique seal. So anyway, yeah, there you go. So you guys take care of yourself, and I'll get back to you shortly. All right, take care of yourselves. Guys, I'm just going to make a quick amendment just after sort of processing my little video. So I made the mistake of telling you that this is the lower sump. I'm sorry, looking at it upside down. This is the upper sump, okay? So you have the block, the upper sump, and then you have the lower sump, which is that. All right, sorry about that, guys.